Good morning, Scorpios. Welcome to your reading for whenever you come across this. It's for you. This is Barefoot Mama Intuitive Reading, and let's get started. I was gonna do a clearing with the Palo Santo, but I don't have my lighter with me, so let's do this instead. This is just going to be a general message for whatever spirit wants for you to know. I had a little extra time this morning and I felt drawn to do a reading. So I'm going to use the Mystical Shaman Oracle by Alberto Villoldo, Colette Baron Reed, and Marcela Lobos. So there's 3 authors. Spirit, please protect this reading. Send any negative energy back to sender, transmuted tenfold for the greatest good of all and harm to none. Archangel Michael, please bring clarity to these messages and concise messages. Mother Mary, please bring compassion to this reading. Kali, I call upon you to cut any negative energetic cords tied to energies or entities no longer serving the collective's highest good. Send those energies and entities on to their next greatest plane of existence and burn the karma sticks associated therewith in the alchemical flame of Saint Germain. Amen, amen, so mote it be. Lightning is the first card coming out. 30. You might be 30 years old. Your birthday might be the 30th of October. If so, happy birthday, Scorpio. Let's see, let's pull one more. Lightning talks to me about the Tower, the curse reverse. That's beautiful. 14. You may have had ill luck since you were 14. And it's weird to say ill, like maybe you've been suffering from an illness or something. Soul retrieval. I love this. Okay. This is amazing. So the curse reverse is undoing usually generational inheritance of trauma. So patterns in your family that have been with you, or even patterns throughout, like if you have past life memories, for instance, patterns throughout your incarnations here. And then soul retrieval, 49. You might be 49 years old. Your birthday might be the 4th, the 9th, the 13th. Soul retrieval is, it's a ritual not only in this deck, but there's one called the Isis Oracle, and there's a really great ritual in the Isis Oracle for soul retrieval. Sorry, I'm just waking up. Basically, wherever we put our energies or our attention, we're giving pieces of ourselves, and sometimes we give pieces of ourselves over and over again in memory, and it's important for us to recall those lost bits of ourselves and cut the cords to our previous incarnation, our chrysalis, essentially. So let's see. The lightning card says, the formidable electric discharge of a lightning bolt brightens the sky and strikes the earth, accompanied by the mighty sound of thunder. This phenomenon has a positive aspect. The light illuminates the earth and the psyche, but there is a destructive side as well. The bolt can burn and even kill if it's too strong. The invitation says the forces of the upper world are investing their gathered energies to ignite you with this new inspiration and creativity. Allow this gift of awakening to take root in your being and enjoy a renewed sense of clarity, passion, and vision. In your last reading I did for you, Scorpios, it's called Project Happiness. There was a progression through the tarot. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. Especially through the swords initially. And in the Knight of Swords, she was holding her sword aloft and it was being hit by lightning. You might be inspired to write or speak or say something out loud. Write down some form of communication that is divinely inspired. So if you have any inspiration coming through at this time, don't ignore it. The curse refers to the limiting stories of our ancestors and the karma from former lifetimes that preordains the events of our lives. It is the source of negative patterns, or samskaras, and it can show up as a disease, a destructive force, or a blocking on our creative energy. Interesting. Your creative energy has been blocked up until now. I wonder what undid it. The curse holds us hostage to a false story that we confuse for reality. Recognizing the original wound that is playing out in our life can heal it. It is time to recognize the source of your limitations. Did your grandparents live with a mindset of scarcity? Did you inherit genes for heart disease? Were you a slave or a master in a past life? This karmic legacy is ready and waiting to be seen, to be untangled, and to be released. Honor the players and their stories, forgive everyone and everything, craft a new life for yourself. The medicine, which is where this one's at, is beware of your actions, act with impeccable intention so as not to create a debt or karma that sooner or later someone has to pay. What you do to others, you also do to yourself and to the people you love the most. Now you have the opportunity to clean it up. Interesting. 49. Soul retrieval. Soul retrieval is a practice that helps you recover a part of yourself, your energy, your enthusiasm, and your innocence that you have lost. At first, we'll use soul retrieval to recover from our hurts and heal our childhood wounds. Later, we'll learn to journey to recover our original nature, that self that never left the Garden of Eden, who still speaks to the rivers, to the trees, and to God. This is interesting too, because in your last reading, that came out. Somebody's talking to trees and plants and like communicating with nature. When we return to Eden, we are whole again. You are no longer fragmented. You are one with creation. You have healed the cause of the pain you feel, so you do not need to dwell on it any longer. Really, it is true. If you are still hovering over an old wound, find a new flight path. Don't be distracted with the little stuff you've already mastered. Go for the big one, the journey back to Eden. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so what I do want to know, and I think I'll use the light seers today, is what is this lightning? This sort of tower moment, Knight of Pentacles. You or someone around you might be taking your time. You've planted seeds and you're just enjoying the moment. Two of Cups. You might be in a soul connection. Interesting. You might be in a soul connection with somebody where you or they felt the need to rush. And whatever was driving that need to rush is being seen as unnecessary. It's like I don't know, you're taking your time, you're enjoying it, and you're not in any hurry. Three of Pentacles. You're focusing on your work, but also how you work with others. The Three of Pentacles talks about community. It's also a balance of the mind, body, soul, higher self, ego self, and childhood self. Seven of Cups wanting to show itself on the bottom. You have lots of options, I think, for I'm looking at this as like you managing your time and your emotional energy. Like, where am I putting my emotional energy? And I think you've realized that any sort of emotional ties to the past have been draining your energy. But these are pieces of yourself to claim. So I wish I had the Isis Oracle deck. I should get that, because the soul retrieval ritual in that deck, I did it a couple times and it was really powerful for me, but everybody's different. Let's see. Soul retrieval, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Moon. Wow. Okay. This is really interesting. If you're in a connection with somebody that is slowly developing, this person's presence in your life is about you learning to cultivate self-worth and not seek validation from others. This can also, if you're not dealing with anybody, be a representative of your divine masculine, your Knight of Pentacles, being willing to serve the divine feminine, the Queen of Pentacles, in what it is that she needs to be nurtured. Intuitively, you know what this is with the Moon. And the Moon reminds me as well of creativity, which came up multiple times in your soul cards. there's something you're creating, and it's not just for you, it's maybe in community with others. I'm getting a sense of you holding space. The Seven of Cups can, at least in this interpretation, I've never interpreted it this way before, but it can represent a holding of space for others to explore emotional possibilities. That's really interesting. I'm also seeing snakes and ladders here. And snakes and ladders is, see, there's like a little ladder up against that cup. Snakes and ladders is a game that came from the Book of Leela, which is a book through the journey of consciousness. And I think the Vedic traditions, I've mentioned it on this channel before, and I've showed you before, but it's called the Book of Leela, and it's a game that used to be played by I think Buddhist monks, and they had it's a board with different layers. There's 9 layers of consciousness, 9 levels of consciousness, and there are different like samskaras, or what do you call them, like blockages, like different planes of consciousness that you need to learn. And each of these squares on each plane of consciousness was associated with like an emotion, anger or temperance or lust, what have you. And each one used to be associated with a certain sound, like a seed sound, as we have with um, the chakras, for instance. Om is the seventh chakra, right? It connects us to the thousand-petaled lotus of divine consciousness. So there used to be seed sounds associated with each of these planes of consciousness, and we've since lost those, which is so disappointing. But it's like you've journeyed through the game of consciousness. Um, you've transcended some of your past life, like samskaras. You've sort of come to the constellation of your personality, your ego identity. And you may be holding space in your work. You may be holding space for others to like choose their own adventure. It's like I don't know, it's like you ground a portal of potential in the 3D for others. You may have the insight to be able to look at people and see what their potential is. You might communicate with people on a level of higher self to higher self. I'm thinking of Princess Mononoke and Prince Ashitaka. You may have a soul friend or romantic partnership, or maybe a work partnership, where the both of you hold space in this way for others as well. Soul retrieval. This is interesting. I feel like maybe in a past life you were royalty. I don't know. I'm going to use the past life cards because there's been some stuff that came up with the past life, and I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is like you reclaiming some sort of inheritance. And there was something here in the curse about in the past life you might have been a slave owner or the enslaved. I just wonder what this Queen of Pentacles is and why I feel like she's some iteration of you in the past. I'm hearing Inanna. Interesting. Wow, okay. I love this. Okay. So we got construction, carpenter, architect, builder, and other. And we got psychic, gypsy, prophet, astrologer, and high priestess. This would not be the first time that Mary Magdalene has come through in a reading for you guys, but the fact that we got the high priestess and the gypsy with the carpenter is so interesting. I love that. So, what's coming through is, and I'm sorry, I can't stop being amazed by this. You might look into the line of Mary Magdalene and Jesus, like their bloodline. I'm hearing the Da Vinci Code. Isn't that part of that? And in my eyes, I like want to cry a little bit. Wow. Whoa. So Mary Magdalene was, you know, Jesus's favorite disciple. There's some quote, I think, in Paul or something, where he kissed Mary on the mouth more than he kissed any of his disciples. And in ancient Christian teachings, before Christianity was really an established religion, it was sort of heretical. And and sorry, just give me a second. Um, it was sort of heretical, and Jesus practiced these like plant medicine rituals with frankincense and myrrh and everything. One of my favorite people who describes Christianity at the time of Jesus is Dr. Justin Sledge. He has a channel here on YouTube called Esoterica, 1616 on the timer. And one of the phrases that he uses to describe what Jesus was actually like was shaman Jesus. It was just one of my favorite things ever, because he was pretty heretical. He was a radical in his time, and Mary Magdalene was like his, I don't know, twin flame, his soul person, and they held space for people to evolve spiritually. So I don't know who you are or who you're connected to, but you are bringing together some sort of energy in the 3D that's creating space for the evolution of consciousness for the people around you. And that's pretty massive. And I feel like you're really coming into ownership of this ability and of this inheritance, especially if you have psychic abilities. Uh, if you've been like transient, I'm hearing, like if you're a wanderer, if you've moved a lot, this could be a sign. Gypsy, it says, like my great grandma told us that we were like descended from, gypsies in France or something. I don't know. But if you have like some association with this, you could be a carpenter too, or an architect or a builder, and like you could be connecting with somebody who has psychic abilities, or you do as well, and this is like an internal divine masculine feminine thing again. But I get the distinct impression that this is somebody you've encountered where the two of you create in the material plane like an opening or a portal to the subconscious, to the collective unconscious, that allows people to access other timelines. Like this soul retrieval card, it said fly your own path. It's like you also create these openings for other timelines for other people. And I'm also being drawn to the threads on this card, the different interweaving threads. It's like you're making space for people to, I think, see where their thread is in the tapestry of the life unfolding before them, and it's like they're choosing a different design. Like they get an opportunity or like an opening to choose a different design. This is so interesting. Who are you? Who am I reading for? Okay. I want to know who this Two of Cups, Knight of Pentacles is. King of Wands. Okay. Um, this is somebody who knows how to wield their spiritual energy, where to put their energy at any given time, how to take action. The King of Wands takes divinely inspired action. I don't know why he gets such a bad rap. I love the King of Wands. I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, he's fiery, he just does what he wants. And it's not really like that. It's like he is fiery. Yes, he is the element of fire, but that fire is our prana, our source energy, our lightning. It's divine inspiration. you've been divinely inspired and you're taking action knowing this. What? Who's this King of Wands? You could be dealing with a fire sign. 10 of Cups. 2 of Cups and 10 of Cups. It's interesting. I'm also seeing the reflection. Yeah, the reflection of the moon on the water, the 2 of Cups, the reflection of the black and white dogs. It's like there's something about this person and you could be mirroring one another, like in your lives. Like your lives might look really similar, even if you're different people. Ace of Cups, the Chariot. A new emotional beginning. And swift forward movement to victory. There's definitely something here about the reconciliation of opposites, of black and white, of higher self with the 3D. I get the distinct impression that this Knight of Pentacles is somebody moving towards you. What's the 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups? 6 of Swords. I feel like somebody may have been overthinking. This could have been you because of like previous samskaras, previous karmic, let's call them karmic injuries, either from past lives or, you know, from childhood. This new emotional beginning is twofold. It's you with the moon here realizing the importance of emotional clarity. Like, I feel like if you have in the past believed that your emotions were inconvenient, or if the person you're dealing with did, this is a newfound respect for your emotional calibration in guiding your intuitive steps forward with this King of Wands. It's like something comes in to validate your actions, whether they be actions towards this soul connection, towards your 10 of Cups, towards your work. I feel like it's threefold. It's like work, self, and relationships all sort of click, 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 click into place this week for you in some way that is revealing to you the power of your emotional intelligence and your emotional fortitude. I'm hearing Ace of Cups in the Chariot can talk about emotional fortitude. Interesting. Chariot's also Cancer, so you could have been dealing with somebody in Cancer season, or the 7th could be, is today the 7th? No, yesterday was the 7th. Something may have happened yesterday. Interesting. 7 and 7, 14 reversed. Okay, something may have happened just yesterday to help you move forward from this curse energy. Also, if there was anything that you did yesterday to another person or for another person, this card is a warning about, like, be careful what you do to others. But the way that your cards are coming out here is that if you had a choice yesterday to say, I don't know, it was like if you had some moral choice where you could have chosen yourself or you could have chosen to I feel like you would have been choosing to do something at the expense of another person's boundaries. You didn't. So there's good karma here. You held space instead of like trying to control the outcome, is what I'm hearing. The Queen of Swords. And the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. And the Seven of Pentacles and Temperance. I love this. So the and the Five of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. So all of these came up in the last reading I did for you. Ace of Wands, which means I probably didn't shuffle very well, but I think that these two readings kind of tie in together. The Queen of Swords is a master communicator. She can be a bit. One of the words that describes her is blunt, but it's not really blunt. She has a sharp sword. She has a sword. She has a sharp tongue. So when she says something, she's able to communicate with grace. So if you had to say something to somebody to sort of create clear boundaries, you did so with grace, I'm hearing, and even in a relaxed, compassionate way. Especially if Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene is like an important figure to you, I feel that she maybe has helped you to cultivate compassion in your communication. And this is bringing in abundance for you in multifold abundance, I'm hearing. This is so interesting too, because you have the Nine of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Five of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands. It's like you have multiple avenues of abundance, and I feel like you may be so overflowing with blessings that you're tempted to like prune your fruit trees, for example, like your your trees. It's like you've harvested or you're harvesting, and then it's time to prune. Or I don't know. I do not prune fruit trees for any reason. That like I don't. So I don't know. This is like you have a stable foundation for multiple harvests is what I'm hearing. And right now, after harvest, it's kind of time to tend to the foundation again. And I think this foundation for you is your spiritual energy. um its connection to spirit. Temperance is ruled by Sagittarius, and Sagittarius in the story of the zodiac brings in new direction, new life, new vision after Scorpio comes through and sort of decimates or prunes, or creates the harvest. So also the fives and the sixes in the tarot are ruled by Scorpio, I believe. So you're sort of coming back to your innate nature, your nature, your true self, is in this soul retrieval card, recalling something about yourself. And I think it's very much this spirituality. I get the sense that whoever you're connecting with in the 3D that helps for you to create this sort of portal space, is not as grounded in their spirituality. I'm almost seeing like Jesus and Mary Magdalene, like Jesus was a carpenter and she was a gifted psychic. She was exorcised of 7 demons, which some people believe was her moving through the 7 chakras. And again, we talked about the chakras and the seed sounds associated with them. They also have, if you want to read a book about the symbolic associations with the chakras, there's one called The Wheels of Life by Anna Dea Judith. She's a PhD. And it's just really informative. It's just a foundational text for understanding yoga in the West, in the Western mind, anyways. But temperance also, yeah, talks about new vision. So you're bringing in a new vision for this next harvest, the next, it's like the way you want to train your bonsai, or like the next thing you want to graft onto the root, or the stock, the root stock. Yeah, let's see what that is. I'm curious. The Sun. Okay. The Five of Cups, the Hierophant, and Judgment. Yeah. So, and the Tower, the Moon. Okay, the Tower and the Moon, and the Three of Pentacles are all like significant here. The Queen of Pentacles, the Magician, the Nine of Swords, the Five of Swords, the High Priestess, and the King of Pentacles. Okay. So I think that you may also, at some point this week, have a tower moment when I feel like somebody may open their mind to you somehow. Like they might tell you what's been going on for them unconsciously or in their subconscious or something, in your connection, whatever that may be. It could be work with the Knight of Pentacles here, but I feel you're very emotionally attached to this person. You may, oh, like you may make them feel really highly nurtured. The High Priestess, the King of Pentacles. I don't know. You have some sort of divine masculine energy here. Grounded, committed, knows exactly what he wants. This could be some aspect of you. You have the High Priestess and the Psychic. So you're coming into your intuitive and psychic abilities through the emotional space, through cultivating this new emotional awareness and emotional clarity. Emotional clarity also here is being interrupted by negative self talk. So I think this curse reverse isn't so much about how you treat other people, but is about how you internalize the actions of other people, into potentially negative self-talk, and you're sort of undoing that. If you have an unconscious um penchant towards that, like taking things personally that other people do when they're just kind of doing them, you're not doing that anymore. The Magician, to clarify the Chariot, is just beautiful. I don't even know what else to say to that. You've got the Cup and the Wand. You've got the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands on this Magician card. And then he's standing on the Pentacle, and the sword is on his belt. So he's got all the tools that he needs to manifest. I'm also seeing the crystal down here, this like crystal clear consciousness. I feel like you are crystal clear on what it is you desire, um, in your life, in your connections, in your communication, in your emotional space, in what it is that nurtures you, in how to be nurtured. And I feel like before there were some questions about whether or not that was even something you could open yourself to receive. Whatever portal has been created in meeting this person or connecting with this person, even if it's a version of yourself you've never met before, it has opened your mind to exactly what you're able to allow in, the blessings you're able to allow in to be nurtured. And this is allowing you at the same time to cull or prune or let go of what you don't want to nurture. And it doesn't have to be this sad thing. The Nine of Swords and the Sun. I feel like there's a lot of anxiety around letting something go or letting maybe a couple of things go. I think they are material. So you might have multiple like sources of income and one of them is stressing you out. Or you might have a need to clean out your closet, or you might have a need to what there's another example that wants to come up. And I think this is in the mental space. Oh, you might just be doing this soul retrieval so that you can stop thinking about like or putting your energy towards past versions of yourself. Like there are past versions of yourself that you're still sort of mentally entertaining. And I feel like you've been sort of cleared out, energetically, karmically, emotionally, mentally, psychically, like all of the above. And this has been giving you some anxiety, but anxiety is, it's essentially, what was that quote? Anxiety is enthusiasm without joy. It's excitement without enthusiasm. It's like, oh my gosh, I was listening to Rachel Rumi on TikTok. I love her. If you get a chance, 35:55 on the timer, you should listen to her. But one of the things that she was saying last night was that often people will mask their abundance with anxiety. And anxiety's promise, she said, is the illusion of control. So you could have been denying yourself abundance through the desire to control with anxiety, by having anxiety. Like you could have really serious anxiety and you're overcoming that with the Six of Swords, Seven of Cups, by realizing that the anxiety is created from this root desire to control. And the control can come from, or the need to control can come from a feeling of never having been properly nurtured. And so you are properly nurturing yourself, especially as you maintain your connection with the divine, knowing the divine has your back. Um, and this anxiety is becoming enthusiasm. Wow. And it's almost like the more abundant you are, the more potential for anxiety you have. And so you're learning how to temper this with the Hierophant through commitment to your divine nature, your psychic abilities, your spiritual gifts. You're stepping into a new life. What does this new life look like? I want to know. I don't know if this is the right deck to use. Seven of Swords. Only you will know. What else? What does this new life look like? Three of Wands reversed. Nine of Pentacles. Eight of Wands. The Chariot. The Page of Swords. Queen of Swords. Okay, again. Five of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. Okay, I think that, and the Emperor, cool. I think that you are learning how to teach others about transmuting grief. I feel like you teach others how to alchemize grief. You could be a grief counselor. The Nine of Pentacles with the Three of Wands reversed, it's almost like you're deciding to just be happy in the moment wherever you're at. You're like over whatever this waiting for the future to come. You're like, no, it's here. It's now. I'm present in the moment. So your witness consciousness is fully awakened. It's fully open. You're able to be in witness consciousness, open to receiving messages, giving and receiving messages. And I think this is what you've manifested, the Chariot, this giving and receiving of messages from symbols, from spirit, from synchronicities, from nature, from, say, people that you don't even know, just saying things to you, just talking to you. Like I had one guy a couple weeks ago walk up to me and say something like the children, it's so important that we
so I don't know, something. I was with my son, he said something, it's so important that we blah blah blah, for our children, and I just remember at the moment being like, oh yeah, like he's right. Yeah, that's exactly what I should be focusing on right now. Like I was anxious or something, and he brought my attention back to the moment. And it was just some stranger, just some person who had no business telling me anything about what I should be doing. But instead of like taking it personally, I was like, oh, this is the divine like talking to me and telling me like be present in the moment. You've mastered this. You've mastered this flow state essentially. And the Five of Cups is part of the flow state, and it's one that often people are in resistance to because there is a necessary um, releasing stage in order for growth to be healthy. There's a necessary culling of the branches, or pruning of the branches, or cutting back of the dead things. And so you're learning how to communicate to people about how to let go of what's dead, what's past, what's done. And that can be as simple as like moving on from a breakup. You could be a coach or something, a life coach, to moving on from a career, or to moving into spiritual spaces. It's like you're helping people move from, I'm hearing like corporate America, into like prayer, meditation. Okay, anything else, spirit? Death in the world. Awesome. King of Cups, Page of Cups, the Seven of Cups again. Okay. And the Emperor again, to clarify. Okay. And the Three of Wands upright. So, death in the world. Of course, this is you closing out a cycle. Um, I think this is a major karmic cycle brought over from multiple past lifetimes. You kind of see how all of the intricate pathways of your life and all the potentially various ego identities have led you to this sort of bigger picture. Again, you're able to see your thread in the tapestry, and you're allowing other people to see it for themselves as well. The King of Cups is you in your emotional stability. The Page of Cups is adding new emotional energy to this flow. What is this new emotional energy? The Emperor. There's a lot of like balance of the divine masculine and feminine here. You have the Emperor twice on top of the Hierophant, which can talk about commitment. You could be in a connection that is committed and beautiful in that way. You have the King and Queen of Pentacles. You have the King of Wands. What is the Seven of Cups? The Eight of Swords. Balance in your and the Seven of Wands, protecting your energy. Eight of Pentacles, especially at work. Six of Cups. Okay, Knight of Swords. So you're learning how to wield your thoughts in a way that no longer makes you feel trapped, by transmuting the thoughts into the emotional space. So basically, instead of always using your logic, your rationale, you're allowing your emotions, your balanced emotions, to influence the decisions that you make. You're allowing your intuition to guide you, and this is creating balance that is like quickly leading you forward, leaps and bounds. You have the Chariot here twice, to abundance, not just financial or material, but in yourself, like in your personality. I'm hearing like you feel um whole. Yeah, soul retrieval. You feel whole. You feel like parts of you have been reclaimed, especially if you're connecting with nature, or your ability to connect with nature, your animals, if you have animals, just going out into nature, the woods, or whatever, wherever is close to you, just connecting there. But also your human nature, like you're awakening to what your human nature desires and needs, and you're allowing that. This could also be with the mirroring that was going on here, a connection with another person, where you might realize, like, if you feel like a soul connection to this person, that the romance part of it isn't like necessary. It's not a necessary part of the connection. It might be a nice part of the connection, but it's not like the end all be all. And in fact, you may even, if you're resistant to allowing yourself to open up to abundance, you may even be the kind of person that fears that sort of connection, that romantic connection. It might even mess with your head a little bit. So you prioritize, whoever I'm speaking to, you prioritize your connection with the higher self and the divine over all else. And that creates balance in all of your other relationships. So even if you are in like a nice soul connection with somebody, there might be times when you're like, I just need my own space, I just need to go into nature, I just need to be with myself. And you're respecting and cultivating those spaces, which is allowing you to reclaim different parts of yourself. That's interesting. Seven of Cups is now like clarifying itself to me with like a download. Essentially, you have all of these beautiful things to put your energy into, especially your emotional energy, and each one sort of will begin to wither if you cannot give it emotional energy, right? You need to water. We had the Nine of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles here. You're allowing the divine to present to you what it is that needs to be watered when it needs to be watered. As I said that, my little moon turned off. It needs to be charged. And the moon was here a couple times. There might be something about your moon, or the moon, or working with the moon. Yeah, I don't know who you are, but I love this reading. I think it was brilliant for you. Let us pull one of these universal truth cards, and then we will be done. I actually want to get a rune. Two runes? Oh. Okay. We have Wunjo, which talks about joy. Remember, we talked about anxiety and how important it is to incorporate joy there. And Kanu, which is the torch. So this is just very simply follow your bliss. Joseph Campbell, right? Follow your bliss. You're following your bliss from moment to moment. If somebody makes you happy, you don't have to spend all of your time with that person. Moment to moment, there are right times, and there are wrong times, and you're just going with this divine timing, your connection with the divine, the heart. You are following your heart, moment to moment to moment. I love this. The heart has an intelligence all of its own. It is no coincidence that the word here is in the word heart. The heart of a problem is always a problem of the heart. Open-heartedness is the key to a new life unfolding because it is love-based and therefore limitless. If we are ever going to witness peace, we must learn to follow our hearts. Our heartfelt feelings are the activation for our soul's ascension. If we follow our hearts more and our heads less, we will create a safer, more loving planet. Our heartfelt feelings are the vehicle that can transform all grief into great joy. Oh my gosh, what did I say? You had the vehicle, the chariot, here twice. And then I talked about how you're transmuting grief, or helping others to transmute grief. And the key to that is incorporating joy so that we're not anxiously trying to control. We release the desire to control and allow joy. Allow joy at the moment, in the moment. No more control. Our heartfelt feelings are the vehicle that can transform all grief into great joy. Our world will then pulsate with the radiance from the universal realm, whereby we will witness spiritual liberation. And you had judgment at the end of this reading, which is spiritual liberation. It is us stepping forward into a new world. So you're creating this space for other people to be spiritually liberated, which is beautiful. Remember, heart defeats our ego and demands our empathy. You had death, um, the world, and the King of Cups here. You're defeating your ego, Scorpio. Oh, especially if it's in romantic connections or like desires for a soul connection that like allows you to escape from yourself. That's interesting. That Two of Cups that was here. Like you're, I don't know. I love this reading for you. You're sort of letting go of any of that need to control and just opening yourself to the present moment and your witness consciousness and allowing yourself to be a vehicle for spirit. That's gorgeous. Woo! Well, I hope this reading helped. If it did, let me know in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Bye.